Here we are at Darlington, the race, which is one of the 4 crown jewel races of the Gatorade Cup Series season. It's the Southern 500, the third to last race before we get to the chase for the Gatorade Cup. On the pole, the 31 of Stephen Taylor, that's the best starting spot here at Darlington. Alexander on the 72, 2 is outside. Then 30 of Luke Ray in the 2, Jake West in the 14 in 4th, and Jack Marshall rounds at the top 5. TJ Hanley second in points, starts 6th here tonight. 7th, Mac Johnson, Jonathan Rains in 8th, Code Luigi 9th, and Derek Hamill rounds at the top 10. The rest of the field, Jake Gow in the 11th, there's Sebastian Glennon in 3. They have Jeff Bright and Carter Friesen. Then there's Justin Zidell and Eli Bright. They have Stephen Baker and Griffin Lynn, Carson Bowers and Taylor Bryan Price. Then there's Larry Bouchard Jr. and Dale Lightning, James Stablito and Patrick Smith. They have Trey Rainey and Nathan Stapleton, Luigi Octavo and Benny Watson. Then there's Isaac Nichols and Andrew Miller. They have Danny Lloyd and John Gambit, Riley Sampson and Delia Pez. Points leader Max Harrison starting at the back of the field, but he's luckily on the inside lane. Tyler Fink in the 21-2 is outside. They have Steve Morgan and Joe Jefferson, Jonathan Beeford and Steve Larker in the 5 row, Colton Young in the 37th, with Jay Jefferson in the 78, 2 is outside starting in the 42nd and final position. That is your starting lineup for the Southern 500 at Darlington, one of the most longest and grueling races of the season. Let's get going with our starting command.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, take a nice big deep breath so you give your seatbelt a tug. Double check your steering wheel. Sit back, relax, get a nice pace, nice rhythm, and let's go out there and have a good day, all right, bud?
42-car field here at Darlington. It's a long race, 500 miles around this Darlington Raceway. 56 laps. Egg-shaped oval, very tight corners, which means there could be some wall scrapes or two, and it's going to be very hard to pass. Very tight racing. We'll see how this race goes. It's one of the last races before the chase for the Gatorade Cup Series. It could be go, time, or never for some of these drivers. Off of 4. Taylor and Alexander Rowe on the front row. Taylor with the inside pole position will take the green flag, and we are racing at Darlington. Luke Ray and the 2 did spin the tires a little bit, but did a great job getting going. And from the pole, Stephen Taylor leads lap 1. Ray second, his teammate Jack Marshall to 3rd. 4th row has it, but here comes Mac Johnson in the 24, Coluigi in the 42, right behind that 24 as they come down the backstretch. They're under for Mac Johnson as they come off into turn number 3. Still side by side for 4th, front 3 breakaway led by Taylor, and they have the 2 Penske cars. Mac Johnson will get to 4th, Alexander Rowe back to 5th. And 72 though, fighting back hard, might get clear of the 24 right here for 4th. Mac Johnson trying to keep it beneath that 72. Alexander Rowe digging hard on the top side. Jake West found his hold down low, and Alexander Rowe might be able to get to 4th right here. 72 does keep 4th, 24 5th, 14 is 6th, 42 7th. They have Galloway, Bright, and Zidell that round out the top 10. Hanley has found his way down line in the 11th position after starting in the 6th position. So outside lane, very difficult to get down to the bottom here at Darlington. This is big for Jack Marshall, too. Has to keep it top 20 in points if he wants to use those 2 wins as wild cards. This would be a great night for him if he can finish top 5. Right where he is in 3rd position would be good enough. And he might try and help his teammate Luke Rainey try and get a victory or another top 5 result. Rainey is barely into the cutoff. He's right now 8th in the points, I believe. So a great result here could mean everything for Rainey as well. Another driver that needs a great result, Sebastian Coulon on the 3, has found his way in line in the 15th position. So decent for him, but he has to get top 20 in points. He is further back in the points than the 22, but he still could get it done if he could finish decently here tonight. Single file at the front. As behind there are some battles like Jay Jefferson, there's Yepez Larker. But then single file for the most part. I believe everyone's single file besides those few battles at the back. So just shows how hard passing is here, especially on newer tires. Once the tires get maybe a little bit more worn, you could see some more passing start to evolve there. You saw Baker try to get underneath Hanley, but just too tight there down low. Once the tires start wearing out, I believe we'll see more passing. I think it's just something with longer runs here. The tires wear very easily. The speeds aren't as high. You have to allow more through the corners. That allows more mistakes to be made. I feel like that's what leads to more passing here at Darlington a little bit later in the race. I believe the last few races we've actually seen the person who started on pole not win the race. We saw someone who started on the inside further back a little bit, inside maybe the top 10, win the race. And they made the pass around the halfway point of this event. So anything can happen here at Darlington. Pass could come later in the race. We saw in the Target Series the pass came with only a few laps left. As Matt Hamill got to victory lane as he passed Bullen, and then as the field shuffled, then he passed the next car that got out front. But these three have separated themselves. Taylor, Rainey, and Marshall pulled away. Alexander Rowe, Mac Johnson, Jake West, Code Luigi, excuse me, Jake Galloway, Jeff Bright, and Justin Zedell, they have to try and just line up what they're doing. That's stay lined up and just form a line. Got to run here down these straightaways in the draft to try and get up to these front three who have really pulled a nice gap over the rest of the field. And that's what you want. You want a nice gap so you can maybe try some things. You can see Luke Rain, they're going low. He knows if he maybe messes up there and gets a little too tight, gets a little off pace, he won't lose many positions. He'll only lose one at most if he makes some sort of mistake there. Saw back there, Mac Johnson looked down Alexander Rowe, but the 7-2 keeping the spot for now. Off to a great run off the top side, gets clear again. So Mac Johnson still can't make that move. Currently points leader. Coming into the night, Max Harrison 34th, and with Hanley running just outside the top 10 11th, it's going to be pretty hard for Max Harrison to hold on to that points lead. Riley Sampson trying to make a move on Andrew Miller. Couldn't get it done. Looks like not many people fall in any positions right now. They just kind of got what they got at this point in the race, and you can gain maybe a few more positions, but right now where you are, that might be around where you finish with how these Darlington races have gone in the past. Jack Marshall and Luke Rainey gets a great run. Can Rainey get clear down the front stretch in that draft of the 14? He does get back clear. I was impressed that Marshall's fighting with Luke Rainey there. I really think that he would stay lined up and committed with that 2 car. Jack Marshall doesn't need another win. He just needs another great result. Keep him, in that top 20 in points. Back there for 4th. Mac Johnson a better run on Alexander Rowe this time. Can he bury it down to the bottom lane? He couldn't get that done. And Rowe gets back by for 4th. But back to these Penske teammates. Marshall, he has 2 wins this season. He's in the chase as long as he stays top 20 in points, which a 3rd place would definitely do that. Luke Rainey needs either a win or he needs a great result. And if you start battling with your teammate who needs the great result and he falls backwards, you don't want to be the one responsible for that. You want to keep him in the position he's in and try and help him gain position. You don't want to be battling with him at this point in time. Especially since if you get side by side and you both crash, then you might fall outside the top 20 and he might fall outside the top 10 and his shot at the chase could be over. So really it's a lose-lose if you're battling with him. Obviously you can just wait and see what you can do. If you know you're faster than them later in the race, to try and make that move. But I think at this point you have to be committed to that teammate. Early on this race with new tires, try and help him up by that race leader or just try and help him forward, keep him ahead, and play some defense here. You have a pretty good gap over 21st place in points. Just keep a nice little gap. Back there, Luigi, a little tap of turn number 4. Cars blowing up in the middle of the pack. From 12th, it's Stephen Baker in the 96. Engine has gone south in the 96 car. Baker pulls it down low, but obviously smoke billowing out of that car, and it's going to be terminal for that 96 team. Running in the 12th position, a decent day for him. It's gone up in smoke. He's going to get back around to the pits. It looks like he is still rolling and still gaining some speed there. Once again, these teammates battle side by side. Jack Marshall to the inside of Luke Rainey. Rainey powers off the top side of turn number 4 to get back by. Everyone 12th on back has moved up a spot. Stephen Baker's down low. In 3 and 4, he's out of the way. And that happened right at the end of the straightaway and right in front of so many cars. And the cars right now running in the 12th position is Derek Himley. Got a face full of smoke there as that car in front of him blew up into loud 11th on up to about 3rd to pull away just a little bit. As those drivers back there to slow down just a little bit once they saw the 96 smoking, they either thought it was a spin or just wanted to get out of that oil, so they might have slowed down a little bit there and allowed those drivers to pull away. Once again, these 3 have just pulled a huge gap over 4th on back. That gap is closing a little bit, I think, each lap. It's not closing enough, though, to where the 4th on back would be able to gain. Look at Luke Rainey, a great run through 3 and 4. Gets tied for 4. Still looking low. I think he wants to pick that bomb in case his teammate may move there. He keeps it down low, but Luke Rainey looks like he's a little bit faster than that 31 for now. Looking to the inside, 1 and 2. Gets down there. Side by side down the back. Taylor with the run off the top side. Can he get clear of Luke Rainey off into turn number 3? He does. Luke gets back up in line 2nd, but that 2 car showing that he has some speed underneath that hood. Like I was talking about, worn tires if your car set up a little bit better once the tires are worn out. Could be when moves start being made. See Jake West on Mac Johnson for 5th. Can get that done. These three, they're hooked up. Alexander's pulled away in 4th from this battle for 5th. Johnson up the track. West down low on the 14, trying to get a run. Up ahead, no battles inside the front 3. We'll look at this battle for a top 5. West trying to keep that 24 up there. Maybe carries him up the track a little bit. Jake West clears for 5th, but Mac Johnson only falls back to 6th. The 42 of Cole Luigi didn't have a run. So West does clear up to 5th. Johnson only loses a spot to 6th. That's very rare to see someone only lose 1 spot here at Darlington. But alas, it just happened. And Johnson's very lucky that that 42 did not have a run to stay inside of him, because then he would fall back to outside the top 10 possibly, to 12th, 13th, maybe even more. Back for the race lead. Luke Rainey and Steven Taylor. Rainey trying to get that run. Down low, still tight, but that 2 is fast. And I would not be surprised to see Luke Rainey go right on by Steven Taylor. A little tight through 1 and 2. I still let off, and Jack Marshall closing in a little bit, and Taylor pulls away. Alexander Rowe closing in on this 3-car battle up front. Yeah, Rowe's coming. He's going to make a 4-car battle in a few laps. He's gaining big time. And now Jake West is pulled away from Mac Johnson, trying to gain ground on the 72, and he is. He's pulling away. Once again, Rainey a little tight down low. Blocks his teammate. So he's using just a little bit of a lower lane there, trying to make sure that that 22 does not jump low. So Alexander Rowe is there. He's closed down the front 3. Jake West right behind him. 6 and 7. Now Jake Galloway at the track. Jeff Bright for 8th. And Galloway could fall back. His teammate Justin Zidell is right behind the 5. TJ Hanley there wants a top 10. Looks like Galloway did a great job off of the top of turn number 2 to stay clear. Great job there by Jake Galloway. Back for 10th. Zidell and TJ Hanley. A little further back, Kukulon trying to gain ground as he wants to get top 20 in points with those 2 wins. And the front of the field come more spread out, but further back there are some battles. 8th and 9th in a battle. 10th on back in a battle. Jonathan Reed's up the track. Here comes Kukulon for 13th. There's Carson Bowers. Larry Bouchard Jr.'s teammate. Griffin Lynn, Carter Fries, and Taylor Bryan Price. And some others trying to move their way forward. We're not even halfway through this race, so still tons of time to make a move if you're someone up towards the front. You see Luke Rainey once again closing on Steven Taylor. Front 5 have pulled away to make it a 5-car battle at the front. 6th place Mac Johnson, maybe holding up Cole Luigi and the others just a little bit there. Galloway with a great run through 1 to close in onto the back bumper of the 42. And Jeff Bright is there in the 5 as well. But Bright has to let off of turn number 2 and lose some ground to Galloway. Up front, Luke Rainey again, pressuring the 31. Looking for that 31 to make some sort of mistake, and he'll pounce. Jake West for 4th and Alexander Rowe. Back there, it looks like Galloway had to run for Luigi, but couldn't get done. Gets back up in line. West does get by Alexander Rowe for 4th. The 14 moves to 4th, 72 back to 5th, and it's allowed the front 3 to get a little bit more breathing room than what they just had. But 4th and 5th, they get lined up. They could run these 3 back down. Mac Johnson trying to pull away from Cole Luigi there. Really no battles. 24 laps down in the Southern 500. TJ Hanley still running in the 11th position, 2nd in points, winning last race. And I could get to the points lead as your points leader, Max Anderson in the 47, still only scored 32nd, excuse me. Back here some battles. Danny Lloyd in the 19th falling back. Joe Jefferson just got by. There goes Jonathan Beeford by. Tyler Fink looking for a way by. Just single file. Drivers just riding around. Here's for 11th. Hanley in the 23 up the track. Derek Hamill in the 55 coming down low. That is for 11th, and Hanley cannot get clear. Hamill is down low, and that 23 could fall back to about 15th. So Hanley getting past. Gets passed by Jonathan Rains. Now Kukulon moves to the inside and will get by down the backstretch. Hanley does have a hole behind the 3 if he wants to take it. And he does. So Hanley kicked back to 14th as Kukulon, Rains, and Hamill get on by. And up front, still the same front 3, 30 laps to go. Back there, Galloway looked low on Cole Luigi in the 42, but wasn't close enough, just trying to maybe fake that 42 into blocking and messing up. Galloway's in that bottom lane, hugging that dotted white line. And Jeff Bright there in the 5 looking to gain a spot up to 8th. But he has to worry, though, because if he makes that move and it doesn't work, Zidell, Galloway's teammate, could pounce to get that 5 shuffled out. Up here for 2nd, Luke Rainey was up the track, but Jack Marshall couldn't get it down low, and Rainey stays clear. We're coming to halfway this time by in the Southern 500. It'll be 28 laps down. Steven Taylor has led every lap so far here tonight, trying to dominate and win here in the Southern 500. Caution-free so far, which is a grueling stat on these drivers' As there takes a lot to turn these cars. Cars get very tight. Tire wear coming into play. These drivers are taking a handful every time they go through the corners. Once again, Luke Rainey and Jack Marshall, although the 22 haven't run this time, no. But I think the 2's fallen off because look, he's gone off the track. He's getting a little tighter. And look how far away the third one is pulled. Look at how far Taylor has pulled on the 2, the 22, and the 14. Back there, a battle. Mac Johnson is close on Alexander. May have used up his stuff. He may have worn the tires off the thing because he's fallen back to the battle for 5th. Rowe has 5th. Once again, Marshall low, but Luke Rain just keeps that run off the top side to stay clear. I really don't think, though, that 2 car is as good as it was about 10 laps ago. Everyone in line still. Hanley has fallen back to 14th, but right where he is. And now, because Marshall got tight, Jake West is back on. He's trying to get by that 22. Coming to 26 laps to go now. And Steven Taylor has to be feeling pretty good about his chances as of now. Look at back there. Jeff Bright in the 5. Shoved high. Still get passed. And up here, Mac Johnson just got passed. He's falling back. Cole Luigi just got by for 6th. Jake Galloway to 7th. Johnson back to 8th. Zidell 9th. Derek Himmel 10th. Jeff Bright still fading. He's outside the top 10. He's battling right now with 11th with Jonathan Rains. As Rains moves to the bottom of that 5. Just trying to use the run off the top side. We can see Luke Rainey has. And yes, he keeps 11th, but that's a tough break for the 5 car. Up front, they've closed back in on Steven Taylor. The front 4. Chevy, Ford. 3 Fords behind a Chevy. They have another Chevy in 5th, another Chevy in 6th. Your first Toyota is 7th, another Chevy, a Toyota, Chevy. That's your top 10. Up front, Luke Rainey. Oh, man. It's going to be close. I don't know if they're going to be able to get around Taylor, but we saw last season at Pocono. It looked like all was lost for Luke Rainey and the 2 team. But he used a lap car to help him get by your race leader, Jake Galloway, at the time. See if you can do something similar, except make a move without lap cars. It doesn't look like they'll have lap traffic to deal with. I don't think anyone's that far off pace. 2 was really tight through. 1 and 2 allowed the 22 to close back in. We have to look at Stephen Baker as a gearbox issue. Forgot about him, but that's why he's out of the race. Gearbox issue on the 96. About 10-15 laps ago. That's what put him out of the Southern 500. Front 5 pulled away. 6th on back is a battle. Cole Luigi, Jake Galloway, 6th and 7th. Mac Johnson, Justin Zidell. We have Jeff Bright trying to get back up inside the top 10 as Derek Himmel in the 55 is ahead in the 10th position. Cole Luigi pulls away from Galloway as the 2 and the 22 continue to run nose to tail. Jake West in 4th, just waiting. And Alexander 5th is in a world of his own, same with Cole Luigi. Now Jake Galloway is falling back to the battle. That was for 8th, but now it's for 7th. Back there, TJ handling the 23 at the track. Bowers looked inside, but I believe the 23 had enough of a run to stay clear, and he does. Hard racing at the front. These drivers know it. Trying to do everything they can to get to victory lane. Move Rainey back onto the back of the 31 of Steven Taylor. Luke wants this win badly. Every season he's been in the Gatorade Cup Series, he's won at least 1 race in that season. First joined in season number 3, driving the 27 for Richard Childress Racing. Got a luck win at Phoenix, where he won it on fuel mileage practically. Season 4, he picked it up. 1 at Bristol, 1 at Atlanta. The second Atlanta race that was in the chase. Then, season 5, won again at Bristol. Last season, won at his home track in Pocono. And he's 20 laps away from trying to pass Steven Taylor to get to victory lane in the Southern 500, one of the biggest races of the season. 20 laps left. The 2 with the runoff of turn number 4 gets to the back of the 31. Taylor looking inside through 1 and 2. Don't think he's going to be able to do it, though. He still has 20 laps. He doesn't have to panic just yet. Here, no battles. Jeff Bright's falling off as Hamill gets away in 10th. Look at a driver who's been very great at these Crown Jewel races, Joe Jefferson. His rookie season, season 5, he won the Daytona 500. So that's when you know it's going to be good. Followed that up with a Coca-Cola 600 win, or a Pepsi 600 win last season. And then followed that up with a Brickyard 400 win. So this is the only Crown Jewel race he has not won, and starting at the back was not good for him. Joe Jefferson has fallen to 33rd. And you would think that if he could have started up front, it could have been great for him to try and get another Crown Jewel victory and get all 4 Crown Jewel victories, something that no one has even come close to doing. And Joe Jefferson's 1 away from doing it. It's only his 3rd season in the Gatorade Cup Series. 18 laps to go. Steven Taylor has led every lap, all 38. Luke Rainey has run second pretty much all 38 laps. Jack Marshall's run third pretty much every lap. And Jake West, a new challenger, in fourth. He's running the back bumper with the other two Fords in front. Let's go to the visor cam of Luke Rainey and see what he's seeing from the onboard. See how much he's trying to control this car. See right there? In his mirror, he's looking to see if that 22 maybe trying to peak low. Saw he hit the rev limiter a little bit right there. Got a great run that time through 1 and 2. We'll see if he can try and plant his foot in it to get it going. 16 laps to go. That's what Luke Rainey's seen. Once again, the 31 has pulled a little bit of a gap. And 5th place Alexander Rose joined the party up front. 6th on back is a battle of its own. Cole Luigi, Jake Galloway, and Mac Johnson have pulled away from 9th on back, which is a battle. Zidell, Derek Campbell, Jeff Bryce joined back. Jonathan Rain, Sebastian Guzman, TJ Hanley, Carson Bowers have pulled away from Larry Bouchard, Jr. Griffin, Lane Carter, Friesen's teammate Smith. They have Taylor Ryan Price, Trey Rainey, Benny Watson, Eli Bright, Dale Lightning, Nathan Stapleton, Luigi Octavo, James Dablito, Isaac Nichols, John Gambit, Andrew Miller, Riley Sampson, Max Harrison, your points there coming to the race, Joe Jefferson, Jonathan Beeford, Danny Lloyd, Tyler Fink, Steve Morgan is in a world of his own right now, with Colton Yo behind Yepez, Larker, and Jay Jefferson. That is your 41 car field right now, as once again the 2 has caught a little bit back up. The 72, a big loss of ground down the front stretch, really tight off the corner, and he lost a ton of ground right there just being tight off of turn number 4. Cole Luigi at the track, Jake Galloway looking low, tried to pull it off but couldn't get it done. The 42 back off the top side. How nerve-wracking is it if you're Steven Taylor? You've led every lap. You know you have a car to win. But you know that the 2 and the 22 behind, they could have cars to win as well. And if they make a move on you, are you going to fall back and lose the lead and not have a shot? Right there, it's on the front stretch. It looked like the 22 had a great run. Could have made a move to the inside of the 2, but didn't choose to. He stayed to stay right in line with that 2 car. Something interesting there. Like I said, those 2 teammates, they could be working together. Jake West really lost ground for turn number 2 and fell back a little bit, but he's getting it right back. Marshall for second on Luke Rainey. Still trying to get that run, but can't get it done. The 2 off the top side. 12 laps to go. Luke ran up the track. Here comes Marshall to the inside. That was going to be the best shot he had, but Rainey gets back down in line. I saw a car. Yeah, there was a car on pit road. Benny Watson, the 32 on pit road, and has fallen a lap down. So issues to Watson. He's leaving the pits, but he's going to fall multiple laps down now. And if he does not get out in front of the leaders, this could impact this race. He's going to have fresher tires than these drivers. Here he comes out of the pits. How's the 31 the others do? They're going to lap him. This could be crucial how this race plays out. I only say that because that 32 is going to have so many laps fresher tires. These drivers have run 46 laps on these tires. Watson now has no laps on the tires. He's going to run down those front 4 like they are standing still. This could change the race drastically. 10 laps left in the Southern 500. Look at the run for the 32 already. Yeah, Watson on those fresher tires. He's 2 laps down, remember. But he could impact how this race ends. If he catches some car up top at the wrong point, it could determine who wins this race. We'll see if he wants to play it like that, or if he wants to just ride behind these front 4 and learn something for maybe some other races. Maybe a race next season if he runs in the Gatorade Cup Series. He's moved to the inside. Jake West going to have a great run here. He's going to get by him. So he's now the 4th car in line, but 41st on the racetrack. Remember, Benny Watson not with a chance to win. He just came down pit road, but he is currently 4th in line and gaining on these front 3, which could impact how this race ends. Taylor is still running laps underneath the 30-second bracket as Luke Rainey runs laps over the 30-second bracket. 9 laps left now in the Southern 500. We're coming to 8 to go. Steven Taylor is dominating, leading every lap. Luke Rainey has been second every lap. Benny Watson now fighting to the front. He's just moved past Jack Marshall, and now he's going to gain a lap on Luke Rainey in the 2 as he has a huge run down this front stretch. Rainey just ran a 30.36. Taylor 30.44. We'll see what Watson, if he could do it here through the corner. We mentioned how this could make or break someone's race. If Watson jumps to the inside of the 2 right here and gets him caught up top, he's going to get a great run right here. Rainey lets him go. He says, see ya. Get up there and battle that 31 as hard as you can. 7 laps left. Watson is on a charge. He wants to get at least one of those laps back. He's running pretty fast lap times. He's moving to the inside. Taylor through 1. Couldn't get that done. He's back up in line. Now let's see how Taylor, does he let the 32 go so that Luke Rainey does not jump to the inside right here. This could be a big decision for Steven Taylor. 6 to go this time. 32 moves to the inside. Taylor stays beside him, lets him by. So Taylor is clear. He will not be caught up top. 6 laps left in the Southern 500. The battle back here is now for 5th. Alexander Rose falling back to Code Luigi. And then Jake Galloway is 7th with Mac Johnson and Justin Zidell on his bumper. What's that? Kukulon. No, that's Jeff Bright sleeping in 11th. Here comes Kukulon for 12th, though. As Hanley and Carson Barrows battle for 14th and 15th. Hanley keeps the spot. Taylor has pulled away, and he's seeing 5 laps to go. A big mark in this race. If the yellow were to come out, the race would be official. 5 laps left at Darlington. Steven Taylor has led all 51 laps so far in this race. But Luke Rainey and Jack Marshall trying to run him down, the 2 teammates. And Jake West there, another Ford in 4th. Could help those 2 in front of him as well. Now we're coming to see 4 laps to go. Look how much faster, though, the 32 is on these tires. He just got by the 31. He's already halfway down the front stretch, already a straightaway ahead of these drivers. Just how fast fresher tires are here at Darlington. Once again, he fell 2 laps down getting those tires. 4 laps left. Steven Taylor has to run 4 perfect laps. He won at Chicagoland earlier in the season. Looking for his 2nd victory. Luke Rainey looking for his 1st of the season. Jack Marshall looking for his 3rd. And we only have 3 laps left now. About 4 miles left at Darlington. It's going to come down to these final 3 laps. Luke Rainey has he has a car that's good at some points through the track, but worse than the 31s at other points. It's going to be very interesting to see if he can try and make a move at the point where his car is the best. Staying low through 1 and 2, but gets tight. He's really great entering turn 1, but coming off turn number 2, he just loses a ton of ground down this backstretch. He's coming to 2 to go. That time is running out for Luke Rainey to get up there and win, but still, a 2nd place would be great for his chase chances. Trying to make the chase for the first time in his Gatorade Cup Series career. 2 laps left at Darlington. It's all Steven Taylor. He's led every lap. He only has 2 more laps to negotiate. Run this tough lady in black. And look at how Benny Watson is already about half a lap ahead of these leaders and gaining through traffic at the back half of the field. Right there, just crossed the line. The drivers are just entering. The leaders are just entering turn 3. It just shows how much fresh tires are. But once again, you fall a lap down doing it, and you will not gain any ground from it. White flag for Steven Taylor. Last lap in the Southern 500. White flag, 1 last lap for Steven Taylor. Can Luke Rainey mount a charge in this final lap? Can Taylor hold on and dominate to lead every lap in this race? 56 laps it would be if he can make around half a lap more. Off of 2, down the backstretch, a good corner, but Rainey closes in. If the 2 makes a move through 3 and 4, can Taylor hold it? Through 3, Taylor gets down to the bottom lane. Luke Rainey trying to get around as they come off 4. He stays in line back there for 3rd. So the battle. Steven Taylor comes off the corner. He'll win the Southern 500 at Darlington. Front 4, there's 5th place Alexander Rowe back there. Hamill got Zidell for 9th. Nichols and John Gammett side by side. Looks like Nichols will hold on to that 77. Watson, look how much ground he gained on those fresh tires. Just shows how much they mean. How about that? Steven Taylor gets one here at Darlington. And this could definitely help his chase chances greatly. Let's go check the finishing results. Here are the finishing results from the Southern 500 at Darlington. There were no caution flags, and only 1 driver led this race. That was Steven Taylor, who started on pole and led all 56 laps. Ended up winning. Luke Rainey was 2nd place all race, but could not make a move. He ends up 2nd. Jack Marshall, Rainey's teammate, stayed committed to that 2 car, and he ends up 3rd. Jake West 4th. Alexander Rowe 5th. They have Cole Luigi in 6th, Jake Galloway 7th, Mac Johnson 8th, Derek Hamill 9th, and Justin Zidell rounds up the top 10. There is your top 20. Some other notables: Sebastian Vettel on 13th. He needed a great result. He got a decent one here tonight. TJ Hanley with a decent result moves into the points lead once again this season. He and Max Harrison have been really flip-flopping that points lead for so much time. It's going to flip-flop until we get into the chase. 21st, 4th, Eli Bright, 22nd. He needs some great races to stay in the chase. Trey Rainey needs some great races. He ended up 21st. Max Harrison, points leader coming to the race, 31st, and falls to 2nd in the points. And the only car out from this race, Stephen Baker, because of a gearbox, finishes 42nd. Benny Watson lapped after making an unscheduled pit stop with those tires. See how fast those tires are at the end. Now look at the points. Here are the points standings. As we head from Darlington, only 2 races left before the chase. TJ Hanley gets the points lead back, but it's by 35 points over Max Harrison, who falls to 2nd. Lee Jack Taylor 3rd, Alexander 4th, and Danny Lloyd 5th. Luke Rainey up to 6th, Steven Taylor that second win up to 7th, Trey Rainey 8th, Griffin Lynn 9th, and Jack Marshall is on his way inside the top 10 in points, currently 10th. There is your top 20. And you see there, the front 3, as I said, all season, they are definitely safe. You have to think Alexander feeling a little bit more safe. Danny Lloyd and Steven Taylor with their 2 wins feeling pretty safe. And how about Sebastian Kukulon? Another decent result here at Darlington moves him into the top 20 in the points. Now he can use those 2 wins as the wild card. So Sebastian Kukulon, one of the wild cards. The other one, Patrick Smith, who is 16 points outside of the top 10. He has a win. Carter Friesen, Smith's teammate, also has a win, but he's a pretty far ways back of the 34. But he could get up there. He has a win. Another winner down here, Nathan Stapleton, Eli Bright. 2 more winners. They need either another win or get up there and get the other wild card. So it's gonna be a lot. It could change in any instant. You could have Kukulon fall back outside the top 20 and not be able to use his wins. Jack Marshall could fall outside the top 10, and it could be he and the 3. Marshall could fall outside the top 10. The 34 could get in, and it could be the 38 and the 22's wild card. So much could happen here in the final 2 races before the chase. See, 2 drivers have actually completed 1,000 laps exactly, Alexander Rowe and Danny Lloyd. 21st to 40th, Steve Morgan, Isaac Nichols, they need another win badly. Benny Watson, his chase chances are done. But you look at Riley Sampson, who's 21st, Coluigi 23rd, James Tablito 24th, not be giving up hope quite yet for those drivers. They could definitely make something happen before the chase comes. It's going to take a lot, might take back-to-back wins, but it could definitely happen, as the 18 is only 6 points by Kukulon as well. So the 3 needs perfect finishes these final 2 races to stay top 20 in points. It's going to be very exciting to see how that goes. We look ahead to next race, which will be held at Indianapolis, the Brickyard 400. I'll see you guys then.